2014 Major League Baseball Civil Rights Game will be played with the Orioles and the Astros on the field, remembering Jackie Robinson and the teams of the old Negro Leagues. The Elite Giants uniform will be worn by the Orioles as they proudly join in this celebration of those who work for civil rights. It's the Orioles on Masson, and we welcome you to Houston for the second of this four-game set. Cloudy skies outdoors. Roof will be closed. Orioles losing a 3-1 ball game to the Astros last night. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome. For the Orioles in need to rebound, having lost 3 in a row against a red-hot team now in Houston that has won 6 and overshadowed tonight to buy the fact this is the civil rights game for 2014. The impact baseball has had in society on integration. That's what we honor tonight, and remembering Jackie Robinson and all who followed in his footsteps both in baseball and in society in finding equal rights. Frank Robinson described what this game is all about. The civil rights game is held in honor of those in and out of baseball who fought for equality and equal rights for all Americans. Frank Robinson on hand here tonight. You take a look at the history of this game. It only goes back to 2007. It was played as an exhibition game originally. It began in Memphis, Tennessee as such. Now is moved to a regular game on the Major League schedule. And the Orioles, for the first time, get to be a part of that. Maybe Baltimore someday will be hosting this. The Orioles are going to wear the uniforms of the Baltimore Elite Giants. And there is the civil rights game developed to pay tribute to those who have moved the civil rights process along. And so, Mike, Major League Baseball recognizes its part and those outside of baseball who have contributed to civil rights.
Well, so many wonderful people. Obviously, a celebration of the human spirit, and I'm really proud to be a part of this game, the civil rights game today. I mean, baseball has meant so much, obviously, in the social progress of the civil rights movement back in 1947 when Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. But there have been so many influential people along the way, Frank Robinson, Hank Aaron, and they are true people to follow and great leaders by their example of perseverance and the dedication to do great things in the game, both on the field and off the field. So the young people today should really take note of those people, follow in their footsteps, because the civil rights movement is still on today, and people can make a difference.
And today, the banquet recognized that. The luncheon today attended by a large group, including all of the Oriole players. The entire Orioles team, coaching staff, ownership representative were on hand. Jim Brown was there as one of those recognized. Hank Aaron was there in recognizing Bud Selig, Barry Gordy of Motown, one of those honored. And, of course, Maya Angelou, who passed away just prior to this. Manny Machado, Frank Robinson got together and talked some baseball. Adam Jones got to meet with Jim Brown. And Adam got to talk about the history of civil rights in baseball. And that really is what this is all about. It's a reminder of what you said, Mike, not only what's been done, but that there's more to do.
There is plenty more to do, and so many great people at that event this afternoon. And I think it's great that they're going to really pass it on to the young players today. You saw Manny Machado there. And the fight continues. You know, civil rights movement is active right now, and there are wonderful people really to carry the torch along.
You know, a lot of people don't get named. They were people behind the scenes. Buck Showalter's dad is one such person in a difficult situation in his own life where he had to make a decision on what to do regarding civil rights and what his stance was going to be in the South. Buck Showalter remembers.
We're all at the mercy of the mothers and fathers of the world, the way they choose to make us understand reality. My dad had the guts in a time that it wasn't real popular in the South to he took over when they integrated the two high schools, the black school and the white school. He walked out with the teachers union, which you weren't supposed to do as a principal, and told me he'd never work again. But they knew the respect he had in the black community back home, and asked him to take over what was turned into the middle school, and which he did. And back in the late '60s. You know, we got some phone calls late at night at the house, I'll never forget, and how he responded to them, and the words that he never allowed to be said in our house. Some of my closest friends growing up, and I remember the first time I saw a guy take the ball between his legs, spin a ball, around the back pass. You know, he wanted to expose me to all those things. On Sunday after church, I would go play in an all-black league because he wanted me to see the rest of the world. That wasn't growing up in this little bitty town where there was some narrow-mindedness at times, and but the guts it took for him to do that, and what it meant to me and my sisters growing up, and realizing that, you know, I've often wondered where he got that from, and I've tried to impart the same thing to my kids growing up, and I look back on it. I remember on Sunday when he took the job, going over to the black church, and I remember the doors swinging open, and me and my 3 sisters and my mom walking down the aisle to go sit down, and he ended up hiring the preacher as his guidance counselor at the school, and they were friends for years and years and years, and I remember having like a 3 or 4 hour, you know, we had the service and we had to eat, and we had a blast, and I still, one of my best friends, James Lucky, growing up, I met at that service, and we played basketball together for years, and I mean, I just feel fortunate that I had a dad that had the guts to be a father, and see things the way he was ahead of his time in so many ways.
Buck, he took a backlash because of that. Did you feel that as a youngster growing up?
No, not many people mess with my dad in our town. You know, we graduated 30, 40, 50 people. We had the smallest public high school in the state of Florida, Northwest Florida, and my dad was in the D-Day invasion, Big Red 1. I mean, that generation, he didn't tolerate fools too well, and he knew he was right, and it came from his father and his father and his father, and that you know, there was never any bias, whether it's black or any ethnicity. It was just, you know, we were all in this together, so to speak, and I think when you're in athletics, and it's one of the great equalizers are men. Kirby, Wayne, and I were talking today. I said, man, if some guy from Mozambique can play and help us win, give him a uniform. You know, that's what's great about athletics. You know, we're trying to win, and it's the best man gets the job. And you know, whether it's Bo Porter, you know, I'm proud today. You know, he's qualified. He's good at what he does. You know, it makes you proud to be a part of the game. Going to the luncheon today and the turnout, we didn't have to, you know, we weren't going to have our black African-American players go to the luncheon. We were all going. This is not a luncheon for African-American players. It's a luncheon for all of us, and it was an honor to be there.
And Mike, as you well know, when he can talk about his dad hours on end because he's so proud of his father, and that's a primary reason why.
Oh, it sure was. I mean, Buck Showalter's father and so many other people really championed the cause, the fight for the civil rights movement and social progress. You know, I mean, what a great example of fighting through perseverance in the face of adversity, especially in that time.
And we thank Buck for taking time to join us on that. When we come back, pregame ceremonies are going to be taking place prior to this 2014 civil rights game, the Orioles and the Astros. Those activities coming right up. on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by AT&T, mobilizing your world. A big crowd on hand for the civil rights game, an important game for both of these teams, with Houston riding the 6-game win streak and the Orioles having lost 3 in a row. Thunderstorms around the area, hot day here in Houston, high humidity, so the roof will be closed. Had it open for the ball game last night, but can't do the same here. Umpires waiting at home plate. There is George Foreman, the heavyweight, who is going to be throwing out the first pitch for the ball game tonight. Can't wait to get out there on the field. He and Jim Brown, good friends who were having a real good time with one another at the press conference prior to them going out on the field. I mean, these guys have lived unbelievable lives. The great Hall of Famer in the National Football League. I grew up as a New York Giant fan, so there were a few players who I disliked more and respected more than Jim Brown as Sam Huff chased him around the football field. And there he is, and he was great today at the luncheon. And now George, with or without the grill, is going to head out to the mound and deliver the first pitch in this ball game. You recognize that what Major League Baseball is trying to do is incorporate people from a number of fields who are active in the civil rights movement in this civil rights game, and George Foreman one of those.
He sure is. I mean, obviously a great boxer in his career, but he's done so much for the community and starting to get more involved in the civil rights movement. I mean, great stuff. It's great for the young players now to see that, and obviously the fans of baseball to see how much other involvement other than just baseball is going on in the civil rights movement, especially here in the civil rights game.
The players, obviously, it's got to be something for these young baseball players to watch from their respective dugouts. And today, when they were at the luncheon today, to see all of these people and hear all of these stories, which for a lot of them took place before they were born. I mean, the Adam Joneses are hearing about this as a part of history, not as a part of something they lived through.
Well, exactly. And the things that they were able to do on the baseball field at that time were so impressive. And you just listening to Frank Robinson and Hank Aaron speak, you know, so much was just, it wasn't really about the time. It was just about them succeeding and having great focus and being determined and you know, having that foresight to persevere through any adversity. And I think that is the message that they were really trying to relay to the players and to everybody in the civil rights movement. Even though there is adversity around, you can overcome if you have a goal.
Yep. The young players out there, part of the RBI program that Major League Baseball sponsors here in Houston. These kids are involved and have been. It is the first urban program, in fact, under Major League Baseball's auspices that came into place, was here in Houston. So fitting that this is where this civil rights game should be played. We are waiting for the players as they will line up in front of their respective dugouts, and the national anthem will be performed here as we get ready for the civil rights game and all the activities that take place before it. A lot of picture taking going on down on the field still.
Joining us to perform our anthem this evening as we salute America, please welcome up-and-coming artist Jada Grace. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave
Ladies and gentlemen, Jada Grace.
So the performance of our national anthem, the youngsters get to get an autograph and shake hands with the players that they went out to the positions with. Tell me they won't remember this night for a long time.
Oh my. Yeah, what an impact it's going to have on them.
That is so good. All right, let's take a look at our train game time temperature. It is 85 degrees outside with cloudy skies. Roof is closed, so it'll be a very comfortable about 72 inside. Visit trainsearch.com to find your local train comfort specialist dealer. It's hard to stop a train, really hard. Here's the starting lineup for the Orioles, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Their fares online only at southwest.com. Markakis, Pearson, Cruz, Jones, Davis, and Hardy, Machado, Scope, and Caleb Joseph will work the plate against Houston. The numbers always good for J.J. Hardy.
And here's a look at Brett Oberholzer. His pitch arsenal this season. He's using his fastball at 43%. Real good breaking ball. More of a slurve type pitch. He uses it at 38%. And the changeup. He uses all three of his pitches to both lefties and righties. Now, Oberholzer's had an interesting season. He's made 8 starts, just the 1 win. He picked that up in his last start, but 6 losses on the season. There were 6 consecutive losses, and he ended up getting shipped out to the minor leagues. Just recalled. Opponents hitting 306 off him. Lefties 255. Righties up to 323. But he's had some success against this Baltimore Orioles offense. Last year, 7 strong innings, no runs allowed, so really shut them out. 3 hits. So he might feel confident facing the O's.
As he takes his warm-ups and they clear the field, as we said, Jim Brown, the great football Hall of Famer, met with the press prior to the game, and he talked about his experiences both growing up and as an adult in the civil rights movement, and made a point that it was not just about color, it was about what you believed in.
For me, on a personal level, I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do, regardless, because I know I'm obligated to do it. I was helped when I was a kid by people that reached out, and they happen to be Caucasians. So this is not a black thing. This is a thing about the goodness of human beings and the diversity and their interest in young people. And because of that interest in me, I was able to have a successful life, get a 4-year education at Syracuse, and be able to put back. And here I am today being honored by an organization like Major League Baseball. This is one of the better days of my life from the standpoint of what I like to see in America. The diversity that's here, the power brokers that's here, the conscientiousness that's here, the involvement that's here, it's almost unparalleled. Barry and I hadn't had this much fun in a long time. And here we are both being recognized as having contributed to the advancement of people, of culture in this country.
Well, the song was "Don't Mess with Leroy Brown." You could also have just retitle that "Don't Mess with James Brown."
Right, pretty powerful words right there. But wow, what an amazing person, and you love his words. I mean, the kindness of the human beings that gave him the opportunity. He recognizes that, and certainly has given back himself.
So we are ready as the civil rights game begins, and Nick Markakis is up, and he will take the pitch away for ball, and we are underway. Nick at the even 300 mark with the 1 for 4 in the ball game last night, and continuing to shine in this leadoff spot. Nick is hitting .420 in the first inning of ball games this season. That average includes 2 doubles, RBI, 4 runs, and an on-base percentage of .460 in the first time up in a ball game.
Roll there, but loves the leadoff spot as well.
He will take that one towards the hole, backhanded by Carter. Pitcher covers, and they will record the out.
Carter makes a fine play at first. Here's a look at the rest of the Astros defense. Grossman gets a start in left field. Fowler in center. George Springer, the young superstar, in right field. Villar and Altuve up the middle. Dominguez back at third. Carter, the nice backhand play there, playing first. And Castro once again behind the plate.
Ball will be thrown out as Oberfelder wanted a souvenir, and he was trying to get somebody's attention. Finally got the bat boy over at the dugout and threw the ball over. That's one that he wants to take home. Good for him. Oberholzer will be working here to Steve Pearce. Second time he's been in the number 2 spot. Hit there last night at a 1-for-4 in the ball game. Shift is on against him, and the pitch will be in there for a strike. See that infield moved around with the outfield deep. Couple of steps over towards left on Steve Pearce. Pearce again getting the start in left as Cruz will DH. And the breaking ball that will miss down low. As was true in last night's game with Brad Peacock pitching and an outstanding effort. These are the 2 pitchers right now battling for the number 5 spot in the rotation. Peacock and tonight's starter Oberholzer. And that will be a strike taken. Home plate umpire with a call, Mark Wegman.
Here's a look at Brad Peacock. He had a great game last night. Now coming into last night's ball game, averaging 6 walks per game. Didn't have a walk and really had great command of everything. Carved up the Orioles offense.
1 ball, 2 strike count on Pearce. Left-hander's delivery will be into the shift. Shortstop right at Villar. And he'll throw him out. Couple of ground ball outs. Good on, nobody on. You take a look at those uniforms, the Eagle uniforms that are being worn by the Houston team. These are the Houston Eagles who played here in the Negro Leagues 1949 and 1950. They originally were the Newark Eagles, who were in the National Negro League. They moved to Houston after Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier because the league struggled, and they formed the Negro American League. And that's when they came here to Houston and became the Houston Eagles. Don Newcomb, Monty Irvin were a couple of players who played for the Eagles. They only played for 2 years here in Houston and then moved from Houston to New Orleans after that. So those are the Eagle uniforms that are being worn tonight by the Astros. And a swing and a miss on a turnover pitch by Cruz. That's a pretty good changeup.
Yeah, real good change there. Down bottom of the zone. And you better make some good pitches to Nelson Cruz because he has been on fire last 10 games, hitting .472. A couple singles in last night's ball game.
Cruz is .394 off left-handers. That is the 6th best in the American League. The Orioles have both Cruz and Jones in the top 10 against lefties. In fact, Adam happens to be number 1 average-wise against left-handers. That pitch is going to miss down low. Cruz will take it, and the count goes to 3-1. Orioles 5 wins and 6 losses against left-handed starters. They are hitting .254 overall against lefties, .267 off right-handers. Shift on against Cruz. 3-1. Shattered bat into the shift. Villar's got it, and the out. And the ground ball pitcher, who you can see when he's on, gets them. 3 ground balls here in the first inning. Gonzalez to the mound for the O's. Sykesville, Maryland, in beautiful Carroll County. Some of the great history of the area shown in its architecture, all part of Birdland. Take a look at the starting lineup for the Astros. Altuve, Springer, and Fowler. Castro, Dominguez, and Carter. Presley, Grossman, and Villar. Carter, one of a couple on the team hitting the long ball of late.
And here's a look at Miguel Gonzalez's pitch arsenal this season. 56% fastballs. He can run the two-seamer pretty well. Likes to pitch in. He's going to need to do that tonight. Breaking ball. He's got a curveball and a slider. Nice tight little slider. Uses it 27% of the time. And the changeup. It's a split finger. That is his go-to swing and miss pitch 17% of the time. 10 games this year. 9 games started. 3-3 record. 4.35 earned run average. 46 punch-outs with the 19 base on balls. Take a look at the opponent sitting 271. Lefties just 231. Righties way up to 319. Miguel Gonzalez has been pretty solid here recently. 3 consecutive quality starts in a row. Actually, that run of 3 straight quality starts came at home in Camden against this Houston Astros team, where he pitched 7 strong innings, giving up just 2 earned runs. So Miguel hoping to do the same tonight.
In the 9 starts he has made, the Orioles have won 5 and lost 4. Including that win against Houston Mike was talking about in Baltimore this year. Altuve will lead it off. Speaking of hot, an 8-game hit streak. Altuve 5th in average and the most hits in the majors. And he'll go after the first pitch and will pop it up at second base. Jonathan Scope will settle under it and put it away, and Altuve's out of there.
Well, let's take a look at our Jeep inside the numbers. Miguel Gonzalez finding his form this season. April slow start, 1-2 record with a 5.19 earned run average, 284 opponent average in the 5 starts. But in May, 2-1 record with a 3.51 earned run average. That batting average for the opponents coming down to 258 in 4 starts. So starting to find his form and rhythm, and they're going to need that from some of these Orioles starters.
And here is Springer igniting the Houston crowd and their fans as he is on a tremendous run overall. 10 home runs, 29 RBIs. He has had 7 home runs in the last 7 games. Only the 2nd rookie in Major League history to have 7 homers in a 7-game span. You've got to go all the way back to Rudy York, who was with Detroit in 1937, the last rookie to do that. Springer is an exciting, for real ball player. Their right fielder. 11-game hit streak. And a chopper. Gonzalez goes up, snags it. Davis, 2 down.
Nice play right there by Miguel Gonzalez, but let's look behind him and this Orioles defense. Steve Pearce gets another start in left field. Adam Jones in center. Markakis over in right. Hardy and Scope up the middle. And on the corners, Machado and Davis. Caleb Joseph getting the start against the left-handed pitcher.
Orioles #1 in defense in the American League. Joseph out of the ball game last night, in there tonight as the catchers rotate with Hundley and Caleb Joseph now anchoring the battery behind the plate. Gonzalez with a chance for a good inning. Here's Fowler. Takes the pitch away for a ball. Fowler had an 0 for 3 in the ball game last night. Dexter Fowler, 1 hit, 3 at bats against Gonzalez earlier this year in the games in Baltimore. Right-hander's pitch to him, jammed him down to first base. Davis will take it there, and this one starts out. Pitcher's a plum. We finished the first inning in a hurry, 3 up, 3 down for each side. It's Emmanuel Shaw from Owens Mills. You've won $500 for being selected. You win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Play the Orioles scratch off for the Maryland Lottery for your chance to be a contestant of the game. Win a trip to see the O's play at Wrigley or to the MLB World Series. You can learn more at Maryland Lottery, mdlottery.com/Orioles. According to the folks around Houston, with the roof closed, they say the ballpark plays a little fairer. That means fairer to the pitchers. That the ball carries less with the roof closed, they believe, than when it is open.
Really?
Yeah. That kind of surprised me, but
me too.
I took that from the folks who are here for every game. We'll see how it plays out here tonight. Adam Jones will be standing in, batting cleanup for the Orioles tonight. Adam had a 1-for-4 last night at .289 on the season, and he does carry the #1 average against left-handed pitchers in the American League, 4.57 against left-handers.
Pretty impressive, and I think you know the reason why. They don't have many pitches that go away. Lefties, there's a good look at the slurve down and into Adam Jones, but Jones' Achilles heel sometimes, that hard slider down and away. There's a look at the numbers. Lefties 457, righties at 244.
Oberholzer's delivery to him, that time turned it over the other way. Had one going away. Maybe tough to time this guy. I mean, looks like he's got a couple of changeups that he uses. One that kind of bites in, one that goes away and then tries to show a fastball.
That's it. I mean, really just the consistent mix of his pitches. Sneak a fastball by him. There you go. Tries to ride one up to the top of the zone, but a real good changeup. Nice arm cell. It's the key to a good changeup. He speeds up through there, and then all of a sudden it's 10 miles an hour slower than his fastball. Let's look at the pitch track working down the waist pitch to change the eye level.
And got it down there again. That bounced up and caught Adam in the. You can fill in the blank. Oh, that hurt. 1-2 count.
Abel running out, but I'm sure there's not much you can do. Slider down in the dirt, bounces off the plate, comes up and catches Adam Jones.
It's kind of like the father looking at the young child that just went under the table and came up and bumped her head on the way back to standing. Wish I could help you, but not much I can do. Happy to talk with you about the world and civil rights game and how things are going back home.
Oh. Yeah, it just takes a little time to recover from that one.
Mark Wagner over there, not in any way trying to move things along. Just,
at least
son,
he's
when
smiling.
you're ready, let me know.
Yeah, just Adam smiling.
What may be the worst part of all of this is after that you're supposed to step back in, get a hit off a major league pitcher.
Right.
After that. So a 1-2 count. You see he gets a lot of help from his teammates. Just realized, but Norris did. He might be on camera, so he stopped laughing. 1-2. Oberholzer. They get that one in, and it will be fouled away, and the count will stay at 1-2.
Did Adam a favor there, left that one up in the zone. Not the best location when you get ahead 1-2. Just missing.
For the numbers, you saw an Oberholzer, pretty big numbers for the right-handers with that .323 batting average and 5 home runs off him. Pitch will just miss inside. Left-handers at .255 against Oberholzer. He's had real troubles pitching here at Minute Maid, his home park. He's 0-3 here this year, and his ERA is 9.5 in his starts here. 2-2 delivery on the way, and Adam checks it. It's going to be outside.
Good take right there by Adam Jones. Real tough pitch to lay off just because of the height of it. Adam's pretty good at expanding the plate. Probably could have actually hit that pitch, but it faded away off the plate. You see the 7th pitch there.
Pitches all over the place in this at bat. 3-2 delivery on the way, and Jones will hit it down the line. That's a fair ball. It's going to go off the facade. It'll ricochet to Grossman. Adam will head to second base, and he will be in with an easy double. So the Orioles get a leadoff double from their center fielder to start this second inning.
Well, it should make him feel a little bit better, but he looks like he's still in a little pain. His 11th double of the season. Great at bat by Adam Jones. He stays down on this ball and hammers it down that line. Dominguez, nice effort, but it's carving away from him. Adam Jones on his horse easily into second base.
So the Orioles get a scoring opportunity right away in this ball game, and Chris Davis will be coming to the plate. And the Orioles would love to jump out on top. They've been playing a lot of catch-up baseball. Not talking about the condiment. In this month of May, they are 14-14 now as the month ready to come to a conclusion. The delivery on the way to Davis, and a towering fly ball to left center. It's in the yard. Grossman coming over and waiting on it. He puts it away. Jones will stay at second base, and one down. Celebrate summer at Oriole Park by picking up the new Birdland Summer 6-pack. Tickets to 6 games of your choice. Savings up to 20% off single game tickets. Lock in your seats. Best games, best promotions. Details Orioles.com/6-pack or 888-848-BIRD. J.J. Hardy coming up. Hardy had an 0 for 4 in the ball game last night. J.J. though has had the great numbers against the Houston Astros in his career, hitting .293 with 10 home runs, including a .321 average in this ballpark, and he has hit 3 home runs here at Minute Maid.
Well, he'd like to fill that column up. He's been thinking about it for a while now. His batting average is up, and he's just coming off a real nice streak to get that average up over 300. Dipped down a little bit with the 0 for last night, but he's been making some great contact, driving the ball. Just needs some elevation.
Left-handed numbers for him are amazingly low right now. Only .229 off left-handers, and almost 100 points higher against the right-handers. So we'd like to put a stake in that. Outside, great pick by Castro. Had to backhand that one. The one thing you can expect Oberholzer not to walk it. He has never allowed more than 3 walks in his professional career. He's only 24 years old. A 5-11 record at the major league level. He's just earning his spot here with the big club, but he has been somebody with great control. Delivery on the way, and Hardy again on a pitch on a rubber band. The swing and the miss.
Yeah, another real good changeup from Oberholzer. JJ out in front trying to do some damage, but an arm sell. JJ thinks it's a fastball. It's out in front.
Oberholzer's got a win against the Orioles. The only game pitched last year in July. He worked 7 shutout innings. That's down to third. That's going to be a base hit. Jones will get a late start. He's going to score, though. Grossman up with it. He'll go to second base, and the Orioles have the lead. J.J. Hardy delivers the single. Jones will cross, and the Orioles are up.
That ball was smoked right there. Dominguez didn't even have a chance to react, and it was by him. Take a look at the pitch track here. Wanting this pitch away, misses down and in, and JJ just drops the head on it. And look at it scoop by Dominguez. Not even time to react. Adam Jones with a nice send from Bobby Dickerson as that ball took Grossman down that left field line. Jones able to score easily to get the O's on the board.
14th RBI picked up by J.J. Hardy. He's at first with 1 out. Manny Machado had an 0 for 4 in the ball game last night. And he will take the pitch on the inside corner for a ball. Or Manny Machado, the .216 overall, looking to work that up. He's only hit a $125 off left-handers, 3 for 24. So that has really hurt the overall batting average. He'll go inside out to right field. Springer's got it lined up. 2 down.
I'll take a look here on the road again. Now the record first 21 games 13-8. The last 8 2-6. Well, the batting average has come down a little bit. I mean, they were hot 281 to 267. Runs per game exactly the same. Average with runners in scoring position. Look at the last 8 365. but it is that earned run average way up to 5.77. Starting pitchers falling behind early in games, and this Orioles offense has had to play comeback for about almost all 8 of those losses. So tough stretch.
All the way to the backstop on that one. Castro may have been crossed up on that. Hardy goes down to second base.
Take a look here. Down at the bottom of the zone, and no, it just gets under his glove. That's just a lack of concentration there.
They are going to call that a pass ball, and as they should. That ball was probably catchable, actually.
Yeah.
So the Orioles got a break right there, moving Hardy down to second base with 2 away. And Jonathan Schoop, who did not play in the ball game last night, gets the RBI chance. Schoop hitting only 147 against left-handers. That'll go to Villar at short. He's up with it, makes the play, and that will retire the side. But the Orioles get the early lead. The RBI picked up by Hardy after the Jones double. Orioles up 1-0. Later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. J.J. Hardy with the RBI, and as you look at the Orioles uniforms, the Elite Giants. Negro League Baseball. They were in Baltimore in 1938. They had been in Memphis, Columbus, and Washington, D.C. prior to that. They played in the Negro National League until it disbanded in 1948. Then moved to the Negro American League. They won the title in 1949. Then had financial difficulties, ended up moving to Nashville, and there in Nashville the Elite Giants folded as a team as the Negro League struggled, because once Jackie Robinson had broken that color barrier, obviously the Negro Leagues lost the best of their players.
Right.
They were going into the major leagues, so it was tough for them to survive. The Elite team had some great players. Roy Campanella, 52 National League Rookie of the Year. Joe Black, 53 National League Rookie of the Year. Junior Gilliam, all played on the Dodgers with Jackie Robinson. And they all were at one time wearing the uniforms the Orioles are wearing tonight, the Elite Giants. Here is Castro up, and that one's popped up in the air down the line. Pierce coming over, and there'll be no play. That's out of there. I like the uniforms, both of them. They're simple. They look like baseball uniforms.
Yeah.
I really like them.
They're really nice. I think the material is probably a little different than what it was back in the day.
Yeah, when they had wool.
You're right.
Buck really likes the caps. He says he wishes they had a road cap that was like that had a big B on it. Those are great.
That's cool.
Pitch will be taken inside for a ball. All of these uniforms you see are going to be autographed, will be available online to bid on. Major League Baseball is going to collect all these uniforms after. A number of the players said they wish they could hide them in the bag, but not going to happen. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way, and that'll be fouled back, and a big cut by Castro there. Cleanup batter.
guess if they really want them, they could bid on their own jersey, right?
Exactly. And I'm sure some of them will.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. You may never again get to play in the civil rights game. This may be the only chance you have to wear a uniform like this in this kind of an event in particular. 1-2 count on Castro. Castro's 4 for 8 against Gonzalez with a home run. Delivery to him, and that'll be lifted in the air. Jones got a long way to go. It's a mile in center. He'll get there and haul it in before he gets to the hill. Castro is retired. Well, we were talking about Roy Campanella, a member of the Hall of Fame who played for these elite Giants. You take a look. Born in Philadelphia, would end up his life ending in California, but while he played, he was unbelievable. National League MVP 3 times. Played with the elite Giants for 7 years, and a tragic automobile accident ended his career in 1958. Roy Campanella. Campa used to be around the Dodgers for a long time after that. That'll be blooped. Scope. Got it. Dominguez retired. A couple of quick outs here in the second inning. Both of these teams have come swinging the bats. Join the conversation. Check out Masson Orioles on Facebook and join our game chat to interact with fellow Orioles fans about our ball game. Log on to www.facebook.com/Masson Orioles and scroll down to tonight's game to chat and get started. Showalter through the fencing.
He's liking what he's seeing right now from Miguel Gonzalez, and some pretty nice defensive plays there behind him. Adam Jones loving this outfield. A lot of room to range. A nice drop step. It went a long way to make that first out. Jonathan Scope made a nice play.
Carter at the plate. 1 for 8 lifetime off Gonzalez. And the pitch again will miss outside. Count will go to 2-0. Fourth start against the Astros for Gonzalez. He is 1-1. 3.78 ERA. And 3 starts previously against Houston. 2-0 delivery, and that one is going to be bounced. On the road this season, this is start number 6. He's 1-2 with an ERA of just under 6 in road games compared to a 2.77 ERA at home. One of the most divergent differences in ERA home and road in the league. 3-0 pitch had the green light and popped it a mile high. Where is it? Lost. And good play by Manny Machado. Machado came in because Caleb Joseph did not know where the ball had gone. But Machado stayed with it, and once he realized his catcher wasn't going to do it, he did. 6 in a row retired by Gonzalez. Wieters went out and tossed for the first time.
That's a good sign right there. Hopefully everything went well. I think he had made 25 throws today. Looks like he's finishing okay. You know, just trying to get the arm going. Hasn't thrown for a while. Went on the disabled list back in May 11th. But actually stopped throwing before that. DH'd a couple games. before they DL'd him. John Russell and Brian Ebel out there with him.
Wieters said he will use Saturday as a rest day, throw again on Sunday. He said, and I quote here, "It definitely felt like I had some life back in it," talking about his arm, "and it felt a lot more fresh." So the Orioles hope, as decision time looms, whether or not he'll be able to come back without having Tommy John surgery on that elbow. There is Caleb Joseph. Caleb, the catcher tonight and batting ninth, did not play in the ball game last night. He will take that pitch for a strike. He wants to get that bat rolling. He's had only the one hit, his first major league hit. They've got the shift on against him, and the left-hander's pitch will be taken inside for a ball.
Here's a look at that big shift, and look at Caleb, 23 major league at bats, and they're already shifting on him. So they may be looking down into the minor leagues for some scouting reports, but Caleb came out early yesterday and took some early batting practice, trying to get his swing down. He had great success last year in Double-A. He was off to a good start in Triple-A offensively, actually raking lefties both years over 400. I think that's a big reason why Buck Showalter kept him around.
And the pitch will be taken down low. So Oberholzer struggling with the strike zone a little bit here on Joseph, and the count will go to 3-1. We talked last night about the fact Houston is the #1 team in shifts employed per game, over 1 per inning. That's even more than Tampa Bay this year. 3-1 delivery on the way down to third base on the ground. The big hop. Dominguez makes the throw over to Carter, and one away here in the third inning. Now time for all fans to tweet their photo using hashtag #MassonFanPhotos for a chance to have it shown in a future broadcast, brought to you by AT&T. Real good crowd on hand tonight for this 2014 Civil Rights game. And for the Astros, it's about getting their folks back engaged with the ball club. They have struggled. They are 23-32, but they've got the 6-game win streak, and so the fans a little buzz going now about this team. Back to the top of the order, Nick Markakis. Nick grounded out his first time up.
Now, there is a lot of excitement here in Houston about the Astros, starting to call up some of their young talent. George Springer making an immediate impact on this team. Success-wise, of course, Altuve at second base, only his 3rd year.
That goes to center. Fowler right at him.
And let's take a look at the Jeep inside the numbers. The biggest win percentage improvement. Blue Jays up there. They're playing some great baseball. April 462, May 714. Look at the Astros. 321 win percentage in April, 519 in May. It's a 198 difference, in large part to the offensive production from George Springer, their right fielder. Talk about his home run production. Set a rookie record for the month of May in home runs. Really an impact type player, along with Altuve. Altuve hitting 1 and George Springer right there hitting 2 have really created some offense for this Astros team.
They love the talent they've got at their high A level. They are really trying to build as an organization. Their new owner was told, and Bo Porter in agreement with it, we've got to do it from the inside, and you better be ready to come here for 2 or 3 years of development before you're going to see the results. Ownership said okay, and they like what they've got, both pitching wise and offensively. Pierce grounded out his first time up, 2 down, nobody on. Oberholzer's pitch, and that is going to be in there for a strike. This left-hander was acquired by the Astros in 2011 from Atlanta. Michael Bourne trade is a part of the one that he was involved in. Only 24 years old. That goes into the shift again. That's Altuve, the second baseman, and there's another one of those. Would have been a hit if you didn't have a shift, but they did, and he does it. And a 1-2-3 inning with the Orioles on top, 1-0. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by Luna. For a beautiful new carpet, hardwood, and laminate, call 877-241-LUNA. Downtown Houston, where a lot of building is going on. Inside here at Minute Maid Park, the Orioles have the 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the third inning. And as was true in last night's game, it begins as a pitcher's duel. Miguel Gonzalez and Oberholzer tonight. Ubaldo Jimenez, Brad Peacock last night. Both had outstanding starts and both were non-decisioned in the game. Ultimately, the Springer home run for 2 RBIs, a put away for this Houston team, winning their 6th straight. Here's the designated hitter, Presley. Then Grossman and Villar are due up. In at third base, Manny Machado. Presley will take the pitch up high for a ball.
Well, Chris Davis was talking after the game yesterday just about this team, you know, not firing on all cylinders. You know, their offense has been consistent, but here the last few games it's kind of sputtered a little bit. Starting pitching hasn't been there, but Ubaldo Jimenez, you know, throws 7 innings, just gives up 1 run. So they need some consistency. You know, they'd like to have their starting pitchers go a little bit deeper and then be able to score some runs, put some marks on the board early in ball games offensively. Everything, it just hasn't gelled yet. It hasn't worked together. There have been a few games, and we've seen this team at its best. It's just not consistent enough.
Gonzalez with a 1-1 delivery and a swing and a miss. The Orioles offense here in the month of May has been spectacular, as they are second in home runs and home runs per game, 9th in slugging. Orioles have been putting runs across the plate. Offensively, they've just been spectacular, led by Nelson Cruz. And then last night, as Mike said, the pitching comes and the offense isn't there. That happens in this game. Pitch will be up high from Gonzalez, and a 2-ball 2-strike count. Nick Markakis in that leadoff spot, obviously helping the cause for the Orioles with the tremendous numbers he's putting up and getting on base. And that has set the table, as he says. That's how he views himself now, as a table setter. 2-2 delivery, and that one is slapped into that shift a little bit. That's where Hardy had moved over to. And they get Presley on a close play. 1 down. The Orioles are going to return on next Friday to begin the weekend series with the A's. Next Saturday, the first 25,000 fans 15 and over get the Manny Machado Platinum Glove bobblehead. Celebrate the great season he had with the glove last year as the top defender in the American League. Tickets going fast. Get yours, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. The Platinum.
Yeah, what a year he had last year defensively. Right now, still trying to get that rhythm and timing, both defensively and offensively.
Grossman at the plate. Left fielder, 0 for 4 in the ball game last night. He's faced Gonzalez once, had 1 hit, a home run. No walks, no strikeouts. Ball in play so far off Gonzalez for outs. And the breaking ball will miss. For Grossman, back up. He was officially recalled from AAA on Monday. So he's about one of 3 ball players in the ball game tonight for the Astros. He's had up and down numbers already. That ball will be fouled into the seats and a souvenir. Robbie Grossman clearly putting up the numbers in AAA that justify the move up. Now one of those players trying to justify staying up.
Hardest thing to do. I mean, you hear so many players talk about it. Easy to make it to the big leagues, hard to stay in the big leagues. You have to be willing to make the adjustments.
2-1's going to be popped up. Machado will go back. In fair territory, puts it away. Let's open up our Major League Notebook tonight in the East Winds page. Stephen Drew of Boston. He played 9 full innings on Thursday. Wasn't supposed to. They were going to have him DH. Said he felt fine after. He can't come back to the Red Sox until June 2 under the rules, but he's playing now every day. For Solarte with New York, .283 batting average, second among rookies, but he has tailed off, hitting only a .149 since May 15. And the Rays and Red Sox have opened a 3-game series tonight at Fenway Park. This coming just 5 days after the bench clearing brawl that the two had in Tampa. And guess what? They've already emptied the benches in Boston tonight. David Price hit both Mike Karp and Big Poppy. But only John Farrell's been thrown out of the game. So they're right back at it, right where they left off in Tampa. And for the other teams in the East, all they can say is, go at it, guys, and beat each other up.
Yeah. Go get them. 1
ball, 1 strike count. Villar with 2 down and nobody on. 0 for 4 in the ball game last night. There's that breaking ball. That one is going to miss. 2 ball, 1 strike count.
A couple teams in the bottom of the American League East, you know, the Red Sox and the Rays, they're trying to find some way to ignite their teams. I know that fighting's the way to go about it, but
way to get hurt.
Yeah.
Gonzalez facing a hitter here who's 0 for his last 25. Average has dropped down to 196 for Villar, their shortstop. Running for a base hit and will foul it back. He's just trying to get on, and he had Machado back at third base. Tried it last night, and both times can't get it down.
Yeah, and last night's ball game actually tried to lay a bunt down with 2 strikes. Here, 3-1 count, good hitters count. Machado sneaking back, and he tries to lay one down. Ooh, this leaves a little too soon. Catches home plate umpire Mark Wegner. Actually broke his face mask. Yeah, the throat protector right off the bottom.
Took the Billy Goat strap and removed it. He will tie that back on. It hit off Caleb Joseph and ricocheted right up onto that strap, which now has the much easier to return in place snap on. Still a strap, though. There is that added protector it hangs from, but they tried a mask once. There was no protector. The mask just extended down. The umpires didn't like it a lot. You bumped your head on it. If you look down, your chin, the strap's back on. And that's inside and fouled off. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 down. 4-game series for these Stros for the O's.
Still looking really good right now. Good command of all of his pitches. Not afraid to throw in.
3 ball, 2 strike delivery again on the way, and Milwaukee. 20 walks in 54 innings on the season for Gonzalez. You hate doing that because you turn the order over here.
Exactly, especially Villar, the way he's been struggling. He's missing with that fastball inside.
Mark Wagner, the home plate umpire, over time in his career. Players feel he tends to favor the hitters a little bit, that the strike zone can be pretty concise. We'll see if that stays true in this game. Altuve up, popped out his first time up. Has the 8-game hit streak, 3 for 4 in the ball game last night. With Gonzalez on the mound, base stealers are 7 out of 8. For Joseph behind the plate, Caleb's thrown out 4 of 10. This is a Houston team with the likes of Altuve, who will pick up some stolen bases. Pretty good lead over there at first base for Villar. Not going. Altuve the other way, and it is foul.
Villar can run pretty well too, so if this count gets a couple strikes, you might see him go, because they'd rather have Altuve leading off. Villar steals the base. There you go, 11 steals in his 12 attempts. Gonna get him into scoring position.
See whether they run him here. He had a pretty good lead that last time. And Gonzalez, aware of the fact he might be taking off, again the throw over. They have stolen 42 bases this season as a team and have been caught just 12 times. Run into their game, second in stolen bases as a team. Only Kansas City has more. Again, Altuve aiming to that right field line on that pitch, and it'll be fouled off again, and the count goes to 2 strikes.
Well, speed can really wreak havoc with a defense. A lot of adjustments you have to make. See John Russell relaying the signs on to Caleb Joseph. Caleb Joseph, 4 caught stealings and 10 attempts, a real good percentage of .400.
As for the inside fastball, runner not going, broken bat. Altuve very fast, but Jonathan Scope is quicker. That'll retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on base. The Orioles after 3 in game 2 of this set have the lead. Civil rights game, and George Foreman out to throw the first pitch. Jim Brown, Frank Robinson on hand, executives from Major League Baseball, and the Astros and the Orioles get the honor, as did Foreman, in throwing out the first pitch. Adam Jones having a chance to talk to Frank before the ball game down on the field. Robin Roberts here. She was one of the hosts from ABC's morning show. She hosted at the luncheon that was today. Jim Brown sitting next to her on the left watching the ball game, and a lot of folks who worked in the civil rights movement on hand for the event and staying through for the ball game. And who knows, Baltimore might host a civil rights game.
Yeah, that would be great
one of these days. The pitch will be taken by Cruz. It is in there for a strike. Nelson grounded out his first time up, hitting third in the lineup. 308, the RBI and home run leader in the American League. And that pitch is in there. Cruz will get more at bats, of course, hitting in that 1 through 3 spot. It's one of the arguments of baseball annually. Do you want to put your best hitters at the top of the order so they get that 1 more at bat per game, which piles up over the course of the season? Or do you want to hold them down 4 or 5 positions where you think they might have more chances at RBIs?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think Buck Showalter's thinking along the lines, put your best hitters at the top, give them more chances to drive the ball.
And that one's going to be blooped where they ain't. It'll fall in for a base hit. Fowler. So Cruz gets the single, an 11-game hit streak for him now, and the Orioles get the leadoff man on base. Our PNC minor league report is brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you.
Trey Mancini, a nice season, hitting .314, 10 doubles, 26 RBIs overall. Last 10 games, though, he's been on fire. .385, 3 doubles, and the 9 RBI. He was an 8th-round pick out of Notre Dame. Just 21 years of age. He's his first baseman, and he's doing some good things in Delmarva right now. Trying to get his name on the map to try to move up this organization.
Adam Jones and the shift on. He doubled and scored in the 2nd inning for the Orioles. Runner on at first. Oberholzer retires. 72% of leadoff batters. Good number. Orioles have had the leadoff man on twice, though, in 4 innings. Inside, Castro able to knock that one down. Adam scoring his 30th run for the Orioles this season. Nelson Cruz has been the leader in runs scored with 38, along with all the other numbers He's got 130 total bases. Cruz does now coming into the ball game. Jones closest to him at 95.
Also, Cruz doing some great things. Buck Showalter giving him a couple days to DH here. Started to play left field more consistently. I think Buck wanted to, his goal coming into the season was to try to keep him as healthy as possible. He's been plagued with some injuries, limited some playing time here in the past couple years. Of course, that suspension cut some games off last season. So some outfield play, some DH play, but always wanting to keep that bat in the lineup, and he has stayed fresh. Amazing numbers here coming to the end of May.
It's his 22nd game in the DH role. Ball popped up. First base may be playable. Carter going over. Not a lot of room. He's got it though. And Jones is retired for the first out. Oriole fans can earn rewards for sharing and posting Orioles content on social media. Joining the O's Bird's Nest. Join the conversation now. OsBirdsNest.com. Enter today's bonus code Tillman. Before midnight tonight, receive 2 bonus tokens and be entered to win the monthly prize of the autographed player photo or year-end prize 2 tickets to opening day next year. Join the O's Bird's Nest today and start getting rewarded. Tillman.
There's Tillman.
He's going to pitch tomorrow. One down now. Here's Chris Davis. And Chris will take the pitch for a strike. Davis flying out to left field. First time up in the ball game for Chris against the left-handers this season. Looking to, like so many of the Orioles, to up the numbers. He has 279, well above his 217 off right-handers. Go figure.
Yeah, he's been getting pitched tough. He was fighting through the month of April. He wasn't getting many pitches to hit at all. He was getting worked hard in, soft away, kind of by the book. Not many good pitches to hit. He was the guy in April that they did not want to let beat them, so didn't give him many pitches.
Davis on the ground ball into the shift. Altuve, nice short hop. There's one, relayed the line. And there's 2. And a tough coverage with a shift on. That again is that shortstop coming from the other side of the bag. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the 4th.
They opened the doors. And without Jackie, Rachel, I don't know if that door would have been open again for a long, long time.
Our baseball moment in Orioles history brought to you by Volkswagen. We take you back to August 1, 1982. Frank Robinson, Hank Aaron inducted into the Hall. Frank with 6 seasons with the O's, 294 career average, broke barriers, becoming the first African-American manager in Major League history for the Cleveland Indians. Induction ceremony August 1, 82. Frank and Hank and both on hand today, and at the luncheon they were the two who introduced Bud Selig as part of the civil rights game activities.
Pretty amazing. Frank Robinson, MVP in the National League, MVP in the American League. What a player. There's Hank Aaron, Hammer and Hank Aaron, home run king.
Introduced as the all-time leading home run hitter. Here is George Springer, and the pitch will be taken for a strike. Springer grounded out his first time up. He's got the 11-game hit streak going. It's a career-long streak for him, hitting .390 during the streak. Had the game-winning 2 RBI homer last night. And he will take the pitch inside. Speaking of hit streaks, these are active to the moment.
Yeah, Michael Brantley from Cleveland with 14. Alex Rios over in Texas with 12. And there's George Springer 11, Carpenter 11, and Nelson Cruz on the board with 11.
1-1 delivery on the way, and that's a Springer swing right there. He lets her rip, and when he connects, we don't see the baseball again on earth for a long time.
Yeah, it's a violent swing, but you know, he's nice and quiet. You see that upright position, you know, a little bit of a load, gets that front foot down, recognizes the baseball, and then off it goes.
And the breaking ball that he would not go after. 78 miles an hour. Count goes to 2-2. Miguel Gonzalez has surrendered 8 home runs on the season, but of late it's been pretty darn good. He gave up 1 to Houston, 1 to Pittsburgh, none in his last outing against Cleveland. 4 of the home runs came in his first 2 games. That one in the air to left field. It's .362 in that well. That's why it's tough to play, and played well by Pierce. We talked about it last night. That's why the left fielder has got to stay on the center field side of that scoreboard, because if you don't, you can't get that ball.
Yeah, well, you saw Steve Pierce right there, the quick glance back. I mean, it is a tricky corner out there. A lot of quirks in this field. That big angle off the scoreboard in left field. Of course, center field uphill with a flagpole in the middle. A lot of tough spots to play.
Trying to catch a ball running up that hill. A few outfielders have had to actually do that.
Yeah.
It's a ball that's 420 feet away or so by the time it gets to the hill. That is fouled off. Here's Dexter Fowler. Grounded out his first time up. This team was held last night by the Orioles to 3 runs on 5 hits. No small matter, because the Astros in their 6-game win streak have outscored opponents, including last night's game, 37-11. 0-1 delivery is just going to miss, and a 1-ball 1-strike count. Fowler third, Castro next.
Had a pretty potent offense with Altuve and Springer at the top, and Bruce Carter with a couple home runs.
Down to first and foul.
Last night we talked about the production at the bottom of this order, so some dangerous hitters with you make mistakes and they can make you pay with the long ball. This team has good speed. Fowler's got good speed. Altuve, Springer, Millar as well at the bottom of the order.
Gonzalez ahead on the count, 1-2. Breaking ball outside. Dallas Keuchel and Chris Tillman in the ball game tomorrow. Now O's extra is going to be at 3:30. The ball game is at 4 o'clock. 3:30 O's extra, 4 o'clock for the game. Masson 2 HD and WJZ. The ball game tomorrow. That ball down to first, and that 2 is going to be foul. In the wrap-up game, we'll have Wei-Yin Chen against former Orioles Scott Feldman.
Feldman's having a great year. Keichel's having MVP caliber year. He's going to have to try to handle him tomorrow.
Another left-hander, Mike. Keuchel 6-2 and a 2.5 ERA. 2.5.
Yeah, he has been ridiculous this season.
Pitch will be a little bit low. And another 3-ball, 2-strike count. 45 pitches so far thrown by Gonzalez. 1 down, nobody on here in the 4th inning. The Orioles scored in the 2nd. RBI base hit Hardy. Jones had a double. He came around to score as a leadoff double in the inning. Came right back in with a strike, and Fowler puts it back. Stays at 3-2.
Well, good life on the fastball there. 93 two-seamer. Challenging Fowler. He's been mixing up his pitches no strikeouts to this point in the ball game. Pitching to contact, and Astros hitters can't get to him.
Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, has to be happy with what he's seen so far and happy with the performance from Jimenez last night. 3-2 delivery again, and swung on and missed, and there is the first strikeout recorded by Gonzalez.
Well, probably not the location Miguel wanted, the split finger. See Caleb Joseph wanting it down and away, but it rides high in the zone. Fowler says, oh, it looks good. But just over the top of the bat, that hesitation, the change of speed, gets him.
The Gonzalez 2 down and nobody on. That'll bring up Castro. Jason Castro, their all-star catcher. Second on the club in RBIs, and he's picked up 19 runs batted in over the last 30 ball games. That one caught him just on the nick. So that'll be the 5th hit batter by Gonzalez. This one with 2 down.
Fastball riding in, early fastball, try to get him to move his feet. The Castro doesn't move enough and just catches him on the side.
Castro's at the top of the list in the American League. He's been hit now 7 times this season. So he's on. Dominguez popped out his first time up. That's only the second base runner the Astros have had in the game. 1 a walk, 1 a hit batter. And the first pitch is in there for a strike.
Oh, nice little breaking ball. Miguel Gonzalez has had his best outings this year. He's had command of all of his pitches, getting ahead with the slider and spot his fastball in or out. Where's that swing and miss split finger down in the zone?
Dominguez hitting at 245. 0-1 delivery is going to bounce, and a runner's going to go to second base. So a hit batter and a wild pitch puts Castro down to second. That's his 3rd wild pitch of the year.
Well, Caleb probably upset of himself for not being able to block this. A little bit too much movement and unable to really get his knees down to get in front of that ball. You saw that adjustment he was making prior to the pitch, and then just couldn't get himself set up.
So now a chance to tie the ball game up for Dominguez if he can get a base hit. Everybody pretty much straight away on Dominguez. 1 ball, 1 strike count. And that will be outside for a ball. Castro getting a big secondary lead at second. The Orioles not keeping him close. Jonathan Scope moved over a little bit after Castro really walked off as that pitch was being delivered.
Castro not really a stolen base threat, so he's trying to extend that lead as much as possible. Get a big secondary, some good arms in this Orioles outfield. He wants to try to get off as much as he can.
Out in front, runner will stay at second base, and the count goes to 3-1. Good job by Joseph that time.
Much better block there.
This team has struggled with runners in scoring position. They are now last in the American League, hitting only .211. They went 1 for 15 in the ball game last night, left 9 on base, and won the game 3-1. Dominguez 3 ball 1 strike delivery to him, and a breaking ball that catches the corner. He'll stay right there. Dominguez has been one of their better hitters at .279 in these situations.
Here's a look at the breaking ball. Just kind of backs up, and the plate umpire says it catches that inside corner. Now Caleb Joseph wanting that down, but able to get the strike call. See if he can come up with a pitch. 3-2.
3-2, 2 away. Castro off second base. Dominguez waiting on it, and he will put it into the seats, and the souvenir delivered. Good battle joined here. A 4-3-2 counts in the ball game for Miguel Gonzalez, but the pitch count has been kept down because he's only walked 1 and struck out 1. So putting the ball in play and letting your defense get the outs matters big time if you're trying to hold that pitch count. 3-2 delivery again, and that's going to go to the gap, left center field. Pierce over, diving, and makes the catch. Steve Pierce And you might want to mark that one down. Runner left on at second base. Steve Pearce hauls it in. The reason you might want to mark it down is if you checked on that scoreboard for Houston, you got zeros. The Honda do-ups. Scope as we will move to the fifth inning of a 1-0 ball game with the Orioles on top, and Hardy picking up that RBI in the second inning after Adam Jones had a leadoff double. Roof closed here at Minute Maid Park in Houston tonight, and another real good ball game. These pitchers throwing strikes. Gonzalez with the walk and the strikeout. Oberholzer has neither. No strikeouts, no walks. He's given up the 1 run on 3 hits and has gotten outs. And so far for him tonight, he hasn't had the offensive support. And Hardy will take that for his strike. Hardy ended up being stranded at second base, the only base runner left on for the Orioles so far. Oberholzer's pitch will be outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike from the left-hander.
Well, Oberholzer really pitching to try to stay in this rotation. Talked about him being sent out after 6 straight losses. He was sent down to the minor leagues on May 8th, kind of regrouped the troops in his first start back. He got his win, and here's his second.
And Hardy is retired as Dominguez makes the play. 5th inning underway, 1 out. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support Be More for Healthy Babies. The Orioles have drawn 125 walks, a total of $6,250. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. 1 down here, the 24-year-old left-hander faces Manny Machado. Fly it out, first time up. Ground ball, second time up. Altuve. Quick outs. Jonathan Scope will try and prolong an at-bat. Early voting numbers announced this week for the All-Star game. Several O's involved. Matt Wieters leading in catching. Nelson Cruz, Hardy, Davis, Machado, Jones, Makakis all vying for a spot. Vote now at Orioles.com/vote-orange. You could earn discount tickets. Chance to win an All-Star game jersey autographed for the O's All-Stars. You can vote up to 35 times. Visit Orioles.com/vote-orange today. If he doesn't make the All-Star team, there's a problem.
Yeah, major problem. A couple Orioles really having strong starts. Jones once again proving he's one of the best center fielders in the game. Of course, Nelson Cruz, those monster numbers. J.J. Hardy playing another Gold Glove caliber shortstop, hitting right around 300.
Jonathan Scope grounded out his first time up and only time up. 2 down, nobody on. And the 0-1 count on Scope. And it's inside. Cruz, even though he's played a lot of left field, is being voted in the category of designated hitter.
Yeah, numbers right there with everybody. I mean, leading the league in home runs, RBIs at 49. He's second in all of baseball.
Down to third base. Dominguez on a short hop makes a nice play. And there's a real quick inning. Orioles are retired in order for the third time in 5 innings. 1-0 O's. He is in the Hall of Fame out of Camden, South Carolina. First African-American player in the AL. Power hitting center fielder with Cleveland. He played in the Negro National League Newark Eagles team, which of course is what Houston's representing here tonight. 9-time All-Star, twice led the American League in homers. His phone call came from Ted Williams, who made the phone call and said, "Larry Doby, you have just been voted into the Hall of Fame." After that, our Antwerpen quote of the day, said Larry Doby, "This is just a tremendous feeling. It's kind of like a bale of cotton has been on your shoulders, and now it's off." His response to his election to the Hall. Visit Antwerpen's new Route 32 Clarksville facility all month. They'll beat any competing offer on your trade-in. Hurry in today. Part of our civil rights game, Larry Doby, great player. I didn't realize, looking today, he was the first to play Major League Baseball in the American League, but he was also the last member elected to the Hall of the 4 players who played in both the Negro League and in the MLB World Series. There are only 4 of them. I didn't know that. Satchel Paige, Monty Irvin, Willie Mays, and Larry Doby. Wow. A much beloved power hitter in Cleveland. Ball put up in the air off the end of the bat. Shortstop, a long run. Or second baseman, rather, Jonathan Scope moving over from the shortstop side to get the out. And it's time, as we promised earlier in the game, for our AT&T's fan photo. A couple enjoying the game with appropriate attire. All orange, all Orioles. Yeah. And there are 2 more. A lot of Oriole fans here last night and again tonight for the game.
I'll tell you, there were a lot in Milwaukee, and yeah, last couple days here in Houston, supporting the team.
Here is Alex Presley, grounded out his first time up. Gonzalez's pitch will be in there for a strike. Orioles 1-3-0. The Astros 0-0. The Astros have left 2, though. The Orioles have left 1. A walk in the 3rd inning and a hit batter in the 4th. The Astros runners. Ball again put up in the air to left field. Long run. Pierce, shortstop back. Easier play. Hardy's got it. And there are 2 down.
Don't really keeping the Astros offense off balance, mixing in all of his offerings. Really can't sit on anything, and when he's throwing his secondary pitches for strikes, he can become a very dangerous pitcher. He has been to this point.
2 quick outs. And here is Robbie Grossman. Grossman popped out his first time to the plate, 0 for 5 now in the 2 games. Grossman against the Orioles in his career has had 6 hits and 14 at bats, including a home run for Robbie Grossman. A couple of home runs, 6 RBIs so far this year. And Grossman puts it up in the air to left. Pierce. Steve Tedder lined up. Busy day in the outfield, and another 1-2-3 inning. That is the 3rd out of 5 1-2-3 for Gonzalez. To you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you, and by AT&T, mobilizing your world. It can be a lonely place on the bench when you are the starting pitcher, and there are zeros up on the board for the opponent far through 5.
Stay away. Stay away.
Miguel Gonzalez. Orioles will try and add to their 1-0 lead. RBI Hardy, 2nd inning. Jones leadoff double scored. He'll talk to himself and watch the game. Joseph will lead it off. Then Markakis and Pierce at the top of the order. Caleb now 0 for his last 15 after grounding out. We're in the 6th inning. Hitters getting only their 2nd look at these 2 starters who have dominated the ballgame. Caleb Joseph will take the pitch on the outside corner for a strike. No walks, no strikeouts, just defense behind him so far.
Yeah, just throwing the ball over the plate, mixing up his pitches very well. Really can't sit on anything. Just when you think a fastball is coming, he throws that changeup. A lot of weak contact on that pitch.
It's his 9th major league start this season. His 19th career major league start for this 24-year-old left-hander. 0-2 delivery, and that'll be taken outside. Has the 1 win that we have talked about on the year. They've come tough after, as Mike said, he lost his first 6, ended up being sent down. Victory over Seattle, 3 runs, 6 hits, 6 innings on the 24th of May. And that pitch will be inside. Evens the count up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Caleb Joseph hitting 9th for the Orioles in the ball game.
Oberholzer really had a strong year last season in his rookie campaign. 2.76 earned run average, 4 wins, 5 losses. A lot of promise from him. Actually made the team out of spring training. Earned a spot in the rotation, but just inconsistency early on. Actually getting rocked, giving up a lot of runs. Earned run average real high, and of course not being able to pick up a win, so sent back down. And now just the discussion: does he belong in the pen? Could he be a real good long man?
Another one of those towering pop-ups, Springer and right. Joseph retired on the inside out swing, and there's one away, top of the 6th inning. Maryland residents with a valid driver's license can now visit Orioles.com/plates to bid on license plate numbers 1980 through 1982 and 1984 through 1989. Bidding for these special numbers closes at midnight Monday. Proceeds benefit the Orioles Charitable Foundation. Celebrate a birth year, the anniversary, or other Birdland memories with a unique opportunity. Make your bids. You get complete details if you go to Orioles.com/plates. Nick Markakis has grounded out and flied out. And Nick will take the pitch down low for a ball. Markakis up among the leaders offensively, getting on base with all the singles. He's been number 1 in base hits, singles, for much of the year. Pitch will be taken for a strike. As we said, Altuve is number 1 in the league in hits. Nick Markakis also ranked. He is 6th. Adam Jones is 9th in hits. So you've got 3 of the top 10 hit leaders in the ball game. 1-1 delivery. Left-hander's pitch foul down the line and out of play.
It doesn't really throw hard, but it just seems like these Orioles hitters can't get on his fastball. I think just because he's mixing in his off-speed pitches just enough.
He would be defined as one of those soft tossing lefties, right?
Yeah, and then the fastball looks like it's 100.
Yeah. You said what, 91, maybe a 92?
Yeah, he's right around there.
One ball, 2 strike count. Outfield shaded towards left. Infield to pull. There's one of those fastballs at 91 and got it.
This one just taken off up in the zone to Markakis. And started him off with a changeup down, then some fastballs in. Markakis thinking he can get to it, but riding to the top of the zone at 91 miles an hour.
So 2 down, nobody on. Steve Pearce. Steve's had good luck playing in this ballpark here at Minute Maid. .265 hitter. He's had 1 home run in this yard. Ground ball down to third. Dominguez on the short hop again, up with it and guns it over. Mercy, these pitchers are in charge in this game. 3 up and 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Orioles up. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Pierce diving, a tremendous catch. Dominguez retired the final out of the 4th inning, and Steve Pierce made it cleanly, made sure he held it up, and Miguel Gonzalez getting a little defensive. No, a lot of defensive help on that play.
That was a huge play. A runner at second base there with 2 outs, and Steve Pearce throwing the leather comes up big for Gonzalez. Look at all the zeros on the board for Miguel. 5 innings pitched, no hits, no runs, no errors.
And Gonzalez will work here in the bottom half of the inning to 9-1-2. Well, this is where you may see Villar bunt. Machado's moved in. He's not hitting. The team's not hitting. They're down 1-0. And the pitch will be taken for a strike. Ironically, he's the one who's drawn the only walk in the ball game for Houston, even though he hasn't had a hit in his last 25 times up. 0-1 delivery to him. Breaking ball. That one comes right into the strike zone.
Oh my goodness, when you're struggling, this is what pitchers do to you. First pitch, split finger for a strike. Next pitch, nasty curveball for a strike on the outside corner, and there you are, 0-2.
And then you come back with a heater. See you later. Second strikeout for Gonzalez.
Well, that was pretty easy work. 3 different pitches, all 3 for strikes to take care of Villar.
These 2 pitchers are showing you how it gets done. Changing speeds, location, keeping hitters off balance. That's what both of them have done here in this game.
Yeah.
Here's Altuve, the leadoff batter. He has popped out, grounded out. 8-game hit streak for him. Altuve will ground it to short. This is going to be tough. Hardy's trying to get it and can't do it. The first hit of the ball game comes to their speedster. I think he was going to beat that out whether Davis was ultimately on the bag when he caught it or not.
Yeah, he was flying there. Real tough play for J.J. Hardy. Beautiful job. Really did all he could. Manny Machado cutting across. Boy, that might have been one for him to try to get. But Chris Davis pretty close there. Altuve flying down the line.
So there's the first Houston hit. As Miguel Gonzalez no-hitted Houston through 5. Now Springer, and you get this 1-0 ball game, and here's the twosome that's doing so much damage. Springer 0 for 2 in the ball game. And Altuve, the league's leading base stealer, will draw Gonzalez's attention. With 19 stolen bases, caught only 3 times, and he picked up 2 stolen bases in the ball game against the Orioles last night.
Well, you know that is a big reason why George Springer is having so much success. Moved up to the 2 spot. Altuve just creates such havoc, and pitchers, you know, a lot of fastballs, and Springer not missing when he gets those chances.
Pitch down low. Altuve did not have a good read on him that time. He was going back to the bag as the ball was being delivered. Altuve always has, obviously, the green light to go when he feels as though he's got the jump that he needs. And a step out at the plate. Derek Brock, the first base coach, giving Altuve the times on the pitch from Gonzalez to the plate. Not a big lead. A monster shot up into the rafters, and it hits the rafter and is out of play. Immediately waved as a foul ball. If it hits the rafters here, the girders, in foul territory, it is a foul ball.
Well, I hope Caleb Joseph knew that, and that's the reason why he didn't catch the ball. But yeah, that is a moonshot up there to reach the rafters. Springer, high foul ball.
That's why they go over the ground rules at the start of every game, and especially in the ballparks with the roofs. Count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. Altuve still at first base. The Orioles have a 1-0 lead, bottom of the 6th. Gonzalez with Altuve about a half a step more now. Not going. Breaking ball. tied him up, but not there. And a 2-ball, 1-strike count on Springer.
Oh, real good breaking ball. Miguel with the slide step, very quick to home. Keeping Altuve there at first base.
It's old-fashioned baseball right here. Great pitching duel. Every run matters. Ooh, that one caught Joseph on the big cut and the foul ball at the plate. 2-2.
Springer wanted that one. Gonzalez just challenging him. This ball ends up right down the middle. That big hack by Springer. He fouls it straight back right off Caleb's chin. Caleb kind of shake out the cobwebs there a little bit.
George Springer out of Connecticut. Played at Avon Old Farms High School in New Britain, Connecticut. School's had a lot of great athletes. I went on to University of Connecticut for 3 years. Had one of the greatest minor league seasons ever last year. 37 homers, 45 stolen bases. Altuve's running. Springer's swinging, and it will be foul back. Springer was named the minor league offensive player of the year last year for all of the minor leagues. Number 1. And almost how could you not be with the numbers that he put up on that season? It's only this is his 4th professional season. He's just a babe at 24.
He actually split the season last year, AA to AAA, and completely dominated both leagues. He was sent back to AAA to start the year. Once again, off to a good start, and they said, "Hey, we can't keep this guy down there." Called him up April 16th.
Altuve running, throw is a good one, but it skips through the center. Jones will back it up. Altuve fakes a go, but he's going nowhere. So 20 stolen bases, 3 against the Orioles in 2 games. And he gets into scoring position with 1 away.
Well, had a shot here. Gonzalez with the quick slide step and a pretty good throw by Caleb. Bounces short. If Scope comes up with it, it's going to be a close play at second base. The ball skips on by him.
Springer with a chance on a base hit. Tie this ball game up. Count is 3-2. 0 for 1 in the game with 1 runner in scoring position. 1 for 16 now in the first 2 games. Scope will try and hold the runner at second. 3-2 delivery. Springer takes it and he's out. He flips the bat. Thought he had a walk. Turns back to the home plate umpire Mark Wegner. But he's gone.
Oh, nice pitch from Miguel Gonzalez. Springer doesn't like it. The breaking ball, a good slider at the bottom of the zone. Miguel gets the call. Nice job receiving from Caleb Joseph.
Low Porter up to the top step to protect Springer. Buck Showalter on the phone as the Orioles pen moving a little bit. Here is Fowler. Now there are 2 down. And Fowler will take the breaking ball. He has struck out, grounded out, 0 for 5 so far in the 2 games.
Miguel very efficient here. 74 pitches to this point. Good mix here. 56% fastballs. Using that breaking ball quite often. When he needs it, he'll drop that split finger in there.
Altuve off second base. And the pitch is going to be inside. 2-0 count. Fowler's had the great eye here in the month of May. He leads the American League in walks in May and has the third best on base percentage this month. So not going after bad pitches. Fowler with a 2-0. Hardy holding the runner close. Fouled away. 2-ball, 1-strike count on Fowler. 3 strikeouts now for Gonzalez to go with just the 1 walk that he has surrendered in the ball game and 1 hit. Altuve's infield single with 1 down here in the inning. The Astros only hit on the board.
Yeah, no balls really hit that hard. Talk about a matter of breaking a hitter's rhythm, and Miguel's been able to do that in this ball game.
Count will go to 3 balls and 1 strike on Fowler. Fowler 280 with runners in scoring position, one of their better numbers. Only Presley and Springer have hit over 300 with runner in scoring positions this year. Here's the 3-1 delivery, and an off-speed floater is going to miss. And the second walk puts 2 on and 2 out here in the 6th inning.
Had that open base, trying to be careful, induce a swing, maybe some weak contact on some borderline pitches.
He threw 100 pitches in his last start against Cleveland on the 25th, giving up 2 runs, 4 hits over 6. They will talk about how to pitch to the left-handed hitting Castro.
Brushed him back in the last at bat and ended up catching his side. The goal, try to move his feet, open up that outside corner. Castro, the good numbers off Gonzalez.
Castro, another one of these hitters. We've seen so many of them this year. His numbers are in reverse. 271 off left-handers, 216 off right-handers. Seen that all over the place this year for both hitters and pitchers. Numbers against the book. A breaking ball will catch the outside corner. Miguel using that a lot more in this ball game than we've seen him in other starts.
Yeah, he is. I'll tell you, when he gets the feel for that pitch, he can throw it at any time in the count. It's nice to see him getting ahead with the off-speed pitch. It really changes the whole complexity of that bat. The hitter's thinking, oh my gosh, he can throw his off-speed for strikes. He's got the live fastball tonight at 93.
Castro, a high fly ball. Jones over and will make the catch on the warning track. Castro is retired. No runs. The Astros get their first hit and leave a runner on at second base. The Orioles lead. Of the old Negro Leagues being worn, and the plaques from the Hall of Fame for Hank Aaron and Frank Robinson. Dave Winfield in the dugout there. Frank Robinson talking with Bo Porter and some of the Astros, and a great ball game. Those Hall of Fame plaques were at the luncheon today, and they're here at the ballpark tonight. It is the first time those plaques have ever left Cooperstown. There is Gonzalez. Everybody talked to him when he came back this time, and his battery made Joseph over after he gave up the hit. Nobody would talk to him before that.
Right, yeah. Weak contact on the infield single by Altuve, but he's throwing the ball really well. First real jam he's been in. He was able to pitch himself out of it. Miguel showing great command of all of his pitches. Now getting deep into the ball game.
And the 7th inning, as the Orioles will bat Nelson Cruz will lead it off. Base hit, 1 for 2, 11-game hit streak. He'll foul it the other way. Oberholzer's been outstanding. No walks, 1 strikeout. Orioles have had 1 run, 3 hits. Hardy, the RBI base hit, 2nd inning. Jones led it off with a double and scored. That's been it. The Orioles have left 1 base runner on, and that was in that 2nd inning, a runner at second base. Since then, they have had only 1 base hit since the 2nd. A single by Cruz, and he got doubled up. Left-hander's delivery, and Cruz on that tail-away pitch.
Healthy cut on the change. Mistake pitch, elevated changeup, and Cruz just getting a little bit big on it.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Shift on in the infield for Cruz. And that pitch will be way outside.
Here's a look at the shift, but yesterday Nelson Cruz beat it. The ground ball single to right field.
Two ball, 2 strike count. Cruz, the DH for the Orioles tonight. Way up in the air by the girders again. It'll be in foul territory, and the play by Springer as he stayed with it. And Cruz is retired. Follow every Orioles game all season long with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. At Bat brings you baseball wherever you are. Look-ins, replays, scores, stats, highlights, and more. Download the award-winning MLB.com at bat at the App Store or go to Orioles.com today.
You know what's kind of fun about these games? Obviously, the civil rights game means so much, but so many of these incredible players here around the ballpark. And I guarantee you there are a lot of players in the big leagues that don't really know who these guys are. So with the technology today, they can go right to their iPad or whatever and punch it up and say, hey, let's see what Hank Aaron did in his career, or let's see what Frank Robinson did in his career. And I guarantee you they're just blown away by the numbers these guys put up.
And even watch video now.
Yeah.
Little tapper, that's a fair ball. Oberholzer puts the tag on and records the 2nd out. Jones now 1 for 3. There's no question that's a great part of the civil rights game. And a great time to hear Buck tell his story about his dad. I mean, there were so many people like Buck's father whose names will never be heard in the context of promoting civil rights, but who in their own hard way put up the battle on local fronts when it was seriously adverse to them to do so.
There had to be, or it never would have happened.
Yeah, that's right. There were the leaders like Robinson and like Dr. Martin Luther King and so many others who were recognizable. They provided the leadership, but it was the individuals in all the communities who fought those tough local battles. Davis is hit into a double play, and Chris has flied out to left. Chris with an 0 for 6 so far in these 2 games. And outside to him, a .241 batting average here in this ballpark, while he has had 3 home runs in his career against Houston. None of those have come here at Minute Maid.
We'd like to get one here. The Orioles need Chris Davis to get back on track. I mean, what a force in this lineup. But some inconsistencies, a slow start, and then he started heating up. You thought, all right, here comes Chris Davis again. But now a little tail off here the last few games. Hitting coach Jim Presley trying to stay on top of his offense. A lot of guys in this lineup having great starts to the season.
Two down and a 3-0 count. And Davis rips it to center, but it's an atom ball. Sinking and lost. Fowler a little too nonchalant on that play as it fooled him. He started back and then it dove down. He got the glove on it but could not hang on to it.
I got to believe that ball was knuckling. It was smoked off the bat of Chris Davis. That good extension, and down it goes. Fowler thinks it's going to hang up, and it just dives at the end, and he can't get the glove underneath it. take a look at Chris Davis. Green light, 3-0. Oh, he's thinking, oh no, okay, all right. I was hoping, give me a hit, give me a hit.
It is. He'll be credited with a single on that. So Chris Davis is on with the Orioles' 4th hit. It'll bring up Hardy. RBI single, and he is grounded out. 1-0 lead, O's in the 7th, and the pitch will be in there for a strike. This has been a tough part for the Orioles over their limited number of games against the Astros. Orioles lead the all-time series 12-7, but they are 2-5 in games in Houston. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Hardy puts it in the air to center. Short second baseman Altuve says, I got it. Andy Ball. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. And this great pitching duel continues. Gonzalez has given up only the infield single and is not allowed a run. Our 2014 Civil Rights Game, 7th inning stretch time with the Orioles on top, 1-0. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles.
And there we are. Orioles 1-0 against the Astros in the bottom of the 7th. Here's a look at your Geico highlights. J.J. Hardy with the smash past Dominguez. Adam Jones was on second base after a double. There it is. Baya. Adam Jones scoring for the only run of the ball game. Miguel Gonzalez going to work, getting Fowler with the high split finger. Millar going down with the fastball, hitting 93. There's a good curveball to get the red hot George Springer. A little bit of trouble here. Castro with the deep drive. Markakis and Jones giving chase, and Jones coming down with it. Miguel Gonzalez, a fabulous start. Remember, Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And wow, what a pitcher's duel it has been. Gonzalez 6 strong innings. Oberholzer 7 strong innings. Gonzalez just the 1 hit, nothing on the board there. Couple walks, 3 punch outs. Oberholzer 4 hits in the ball game. The 1 earned run, that was a J.J. Hardy smash down the 3rd.
Ball game very much up for grabs with these 2 starters doing so well. And there's one who's doing really well. Look at that bow and that beautiful dress she has on. Huh? Dance. Come on. Come on, Mom. I want to dance. That a girl. Deep in the heart of Texas.
Everything's big in Texas, and it's a big Miller Lite.
Oh my goodness. Oh, love it. Never was a big country music fan growing up as a teenager in the 60s. You kind of burned country music. Then I ended up in law school and had to work. So I did 3 years of country music in dear old Portland, Maine on WPOR.
Oh, yeah.
#1 station in the market. Hosted all kinds of shows down at the Portland City Hall.
Yeah.
Tammy Wynette and George Jones.
My gosh.
Everybody, every big name in country music came, and I actually kind of fell in love with some of it, especially the old country music. I love bluegrass music.
Yeah.
And to get to Texas, I love Texas swing. Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys and anything out of that genre, I just love. That has nothing to do with anything, but we had a moment there, so here we go. Matt Dominguez is up. Dominguez, Carter, and Presley. Dominguez was denied the hit by Pierce on the great catch in the 4th inning, which at that time kept that no-hitter alive. Lost on the infield single by Altuve in the 6th. Pitch taken away, 0 for 2 in the ball game, 1 for 6 in the 2 games.
Well, Miguel's done a nice job getting ahead of hitters throughout this ball game, but here falling behind 2-0 to Dominguez.
Right-handers delivery to him, and another one of those breaking balls that will be in there for a strike. Dominguez, Carter, and Presley. 5, 6, 7 in the lineup.
So important for Gonzalez. A lot of these Orioles pitchers actually to have the ability to throw an off-speed pitch in the hitter's count.
There's another one. Gonzalez has gone 7 innings only once, and it was against Houston. The season high came on May 10. He was non-decisioned in that ball game. The Orioles finally won it 5-4. That's the only 7-inning outing that he has had. He's trying to outdo that tonight. Down the line, that's going to be a base hit. Nick Markakis will chase it down. Dominguez on his way to second base, thinking about 3, but his team trailing. He'll stay, and there's a lead-off double in the bottom of the 7th.
I really don't know how he hit that pitch. The only thing that helped him out, it was elevated. Some real good pitches in this at bat, and he's fighting with 2 strikes. Stays short. Says, oh, this one's not getting by, and gets the bat head on, and you see it work itself down that right field line. Pretty impressive stuff there by Dominguez.
So Matt Dominguez, their 3rd baseman, with the 2-bagger, his 2nd hit of the series. Now Carter, the long ball hitter, has popped out twice. Hit number 2 for the Astros. Potential tying run at second base. Gonzalez's delivery to him, and a big swing and a miss again. 82-mile-an-hour delivery.
Yeah, good slider there. He had Dominguez set up a nice slider, then a curveball, and that fastball I think was going to be used just to change the eye level, but he got on it and able to stay on top of it for that leadoff double. Now he's got to make some big pitches to Carter, such a dangerous hitter.
Carter and a swing and a miss, and another breaking ball, same speed.
Take a look. Baltimore Orioles 11-7 this season in 1-run games with 11 wins, most in the American League.
Trying to preserve one of those right here, but a runner at second to lead off. Carter will take it, and it'll just miss inside. Carter this month 5 home runs, hitting .244 in the month of May, much better than that .194 overall batting average he has. 5 of the 8 home runs this month. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Runner off second, and a swing and a miss as he chased the heater up and in.
Well, 3 off-speed pitches in a row, some real good ones in the bottom of the zone, and then this 91-mile-an-hour fastball zoom by the big hitter. Take a look at it here, just taking off up at the top of the strike zone, just in between. Look, Gonzalez's out distribution in this ball game. He's got 4 groundouts, 11 fly ball outs in this game, 3 punch outs to go along with it.
Now Presley, their leading hitter, with a runner in scoring position at .333, and the pitch will be taken for a strike. 4 chances, no hits with a runner in scoring position so far tonight for the Astros, making them 1 for 19 in the first 2 games. Yet they won last night, and they trail only 1-0 here. Gonzalez, the 0-1 delivery. Presley swings right through it. A 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, good one. Great location. Nice two-seamer with some late movement on the end.
Gets ahead of him 0-2. Hardy holding the runner. Dominguez at second base. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Went after it and fouls it back.
I wanted that fastball in, and it worked itself back over the middle of the plate.
Pressure-packed game for both of these pitchers with only one run up on the board. They have worked through it, though, so effectively with 1, 2, 3 innings and only a total of 6 hits, 4 for the Orioles, 2 for the Astros. Oh, 0-2 delivery. Presley takes it, framed.
Good try. Nasty split finger. It just worked its way off the plate. But
interesting point made by Buck Showalter yesterday. We were talking about catchers framing pitches. We talk about it all the time. Buck said, listen, I know there's a lot of talk about that, but an umpire's made a decision on whether it's a ball or a strike long before the catcher has it in his glove. Framing looks good, but it rarely affects the call. That's going to be a base hit. Dominguez that will be held at third as Markakis guns it all the way in. Runner is second. Joseph got him. How big play. He is out at second base. Trying to advance on what was an overthrow of the cutoff man. The ball came all the way into Caleb Joseph, and he gunned it to second for the out.
Oh, nice play. Well, good piece of hitting by Presley. He's been great with runners in scoring position. Markakis closing the distance. Caleb Joseph recognizing Presley going. He steps up in front and makes a perfect throw to second base. J.J. Hardy, one of the best taggers in the game, straddling the bag, gets Presley there. Dominguez held up at third.
Wow.
Yeah, great defensive play there by the Orioles.
That's where you talk about doing something on every ball hit for every position player. You don't stand around and watch. Davis lined it up. Joseph's ready to catch it. Hardy goes to second base. He's not standing there watching the play. Otherwise, you don't get that out.
A lot of good things happen there.
Here is Robbie Grossman, but now there are 2 down with a runner at third. And a swing and a miss on another bender.
Not the best base running by Presley, though. You know, a lot of different organizations have different philosophies on that, and I think Presley thinking that Dominguez was going to be trying to score so he would in turn be able to advance to second base. Well, you got to really have your head on a swivel and kind of pick up everything that's going on,
especially with the ball in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys are taught if the ball is thrown over the cutoff man, go ahead and go. But if the runner's not going, Caleb Joseph can vacate home plate, and he cut off about 15 feet there, and that allowed him to throw Presley out.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down, runner off third, and Grossman whips it in the air to left field. Pierce, can he do it again? Not this time. It is off the wall. Dominguez scores. A 2-out double by Grossman has tied the game.
Living on the edge in this inning, that leadoff double by Dominguez, and Grossman finally ends up picking up that RBI. Couple hard hit balls here in the 7th, and Grossman gets on the fastball away, and there's some carry on this. Pierce with a great effort. That ball almost ends up getting behind him and just can't come down with it. That ball is smoked. There is some serious carry on that ball, and Grossman into second base. Ties the ball game up.
7th RBI for Grossman in his 19th game, and for Miguel Gonzalez, a tough 7th inning. Now here's Villar, and a check swing. Did he go? Nope. 1-0 count. So each team now has scored a run on 4 hits. Jonathan Villar, 0 for 1, has drawn a walk, 0 for his last 26. Grossman out there at second. Gonzalez the 1-0 and fouled off. And here again is what we talked about last night. Here's the bottom part of this order.
Right.
Delivering again. I mean, Presley hitting 7th, a single. Grossman hitting 8th, a double and an RBI. Dominguez in the 5-hole that led the inning off with that double, but the bottom continues to produce.
And you mentioned only 4 hits given up by Gonzalez, but 3 of them coming here in this inning. It's to be a tricky point in the ball game now. It's great that Miguel getting into the 7th inning here, but when he gets between 90 and 100 pitches end up starting to get elevated. They've been trying to work through that. Most pitches Miguel's thrown this year, only 102. So there is a level there where he's got to try to overcome.
And it's the tough call for Buck Showalter and Dave Wallace. They're trying to stretch these starters, trying to get them where they can go through 7 innings, and knowing, especially in the case of Gonzalez, that he's only been there once before this year. Breaking ball is going to come inside, and you get the feeling, you just get the feeling watching him, that the tank's starting to get towards E.
Yeah, here it is, right at 100 pitches right now. He's reached 100 a couple times. So 3 times he's been, 2 times he's been at 100, 1 time at 102 pitches. That's the most he's thrown this season.
2 ball, 1 strike count, runner off second base. A run in. And a swing and a miss as he blew that one by him at 92. That's 1 to hit, 2-2.
Well, still good life on his fastball, 92 miles an hour. So holding the velocity, but you got to be careful up in the zone. Even with the hitters that's struggling, like Villar is, that's a dangerous place.
Two. Gonzalez the look back. Ball put him in the air to right field at Marquez. This is a long run. It's in that power alley. It's going to take a hop up and over, and another run will score. And Villar breaks out of an 0 for 26 with an RBI double and a go-ahead run for Houston.
Well, take a look, Miguel. Pitch track here. Not a terrible pitch. It's belt high, though. It's on that outer third. Villar able to get the bat head to it. It's hammered out to right center. Tough inning here for Miguel Gonzalez. The 4 hits, a couple runs given up.
No hitter pitch through 5, and now he leaves and could be the loser. Orioles can check this pitching change off their to-do list. Isn't it time for you to check oil change off yours? Come into Jiffy Lube and help keep your vehicle running longer. Gonzalez, a magnificent start for him in this ball game. Looked like, well, who knew? You go through 5, you haven't given up a hit. The first hit's an infield hit, and then
Yeah, well, then kind of lost command a little bit up in the zone there in that last inning. Had a no-hitter going through 5, but a pretty solid performance. Actually, a great performance by Miguel Gonzalez. Orioles starters needed outings like this and really backed up Jimenez. 6 2/3 innings of work. The 5 hits given up. I mean, a strong outing, but got to that 90 to 100 pitch plateau and ended up elevating some pitches. The 4 hits in that 7th inning and knocked out only 2 runs allowed. He gives way to Darren O'Day. The opponent's hitting .222 off from lefties, .292, and the righties at .188.
O'Day with a runner at second and 2 downs, got him picked off. Throw to third, Machado the tag, and they got him. That man, he may have had problem hanging onto the ball with the runner sliding in. That'll go as a caught stealing Ballard taken out of there, but a big 2-run inning on 4 hits, and the Astros now have a 2-1 lead. And Joseph with the Orioles down a run, leaving the ball game. Oberholzer's going to have a chance to win it, giving up a run on 4 hits over 7, and the Orioles will have to face a bullpen that's been nailing it of late, and their veteran Kyle Farnsworth.
Yeah, Kyle Farnsworth, 38 years old, and he's doing a pretty good job for him this season. 23 games, 3.48 earned run average, 12 punch outs in his 20 2/3 innings of work, 9 base on balls, though. Opponent's hitting .273, lefties way up to .314, and the righties at .238. Take a look at Brett Oberholzer's line tonight. 7 strong innings, just the 4 hits given up, the 1 earned run, no walks, 1 strikeout. Really making the Orioles swing the bat, pounding the strike zone with all of his offerings. Just 81 pitches thrown by Oberholzer.
Guzman has come on to play at first base with Carter out. The defensive change. Bo Porter made that last night as well. And we go to the 8th inning, a 2-1 ball game with the Astros on top, as Gonzalez will be charged with 2 runs on 5 hits over 6 2/3 innings. A couple of walks, 4 strikeouts. The day came on, never threw a pitch, recording the out on the runner attempting to advance to third base. Manny Machado leading it off for the Orioles. Machado 0 for 2 is grounded out, flied out. Farnsworth, who was in the American League East for a long time, it's his 39th game against the Orioles. He's won 1, lost 1, and had 6 saves. Altuve, 1 down.
Well, Farnsworth actually was outrighted by the Mets. Houston picked him up on May 17th, so he was an arm that was available. Some teams like him. I think it's great that Houston picks him up, a veteran guy. Helped probably a lot of those young arms out in the bullpen.
16 major league seasons for Farnsworth, 882 appearances now. He's 31st all time in major league history in appearances.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I'll tell you what else is amazing. Still a power pitcher. I mean, this fastball can go from 93 to 96. Hard slider, you know, cutter, changeup pitcher.
And that one is going to be fouled off. Jonathan Scope has grounded out twice in the ball game. What's at stake here, of course, the Astros winning the first 2 of a 4-game set. If they can do it, they're trying to win their 7th game in a row. The Orioles are trying to get out of a 3-game losing streak that they are in at the moment. But Showalter has had consecutive nights now where the pitchers have done their job, but the offense has not been able to put the runs up. Not yet. The game is not over. Scope waiting on it. Farnsworth rears back, and there's what Mike was talking about, 95.
Yeah, 95 miles an hour. Now threw a little two-seamer before that with pretty good velocity. This one at the top of the zone, 4-seam fastball, and just beats Jonathan Scope there.
2-strike count. Farnsworth appearing against the Orioles for the first time this year. And a little wrinkle on that one that's going to miss outside. A 1-ball, 2-strike count. Since May 11th, covering 16 games, the Astros bullpen has had an ERA of 1.22. 6 earned runs in 44 innings. And opponents have hit 177 off the pen. Ground ball to short. Going to be a tough play. Villar running throw.
Made that one look easy. Ended up getting an in-between hop. Pretty exciting defensive shortstop. You see him making the charge, but that in-between hop, and he doesn't flinch. Keeps the glove down. And then the one-time transfer and throw.
2 down, nobody on. That'll bring up Caleb Joseph. 0 for 2 in the ball game for Joseph. They put that infield shift on. As we talked about, all of these statistics on players and where they hit balls, not just now covered at the major league level, but also in the minors. Mike mentioned, how do you put a shift on a guy who is making his first few at bats as a major league player? I mean, Joseph coming up to the Orioles as the backup catcher. It's only his 10th game. Well, you do it by getting the stuff from the minors.
And you do. And you know, Buck Showalter does the same thing. I mean, he calls down to the minors, see, you know, who he's played against, get some reports from the managers down there.
0-1 delivery on a breaking ball that's going to be outside. 1-ball, 1-strike count. For the civil rights game, a real good crowd. 38,482. 38,482 here in Houston tonight. And they've seen a heck of a ball game, along with all the activities that go with the civil rights game. Farnsworth, he catches the outside corner. He's just throwing some heat. 1 and 2.
Yeah, he is. I mean, tough pitch to get to. 96 miles an hour down and away.
Caleb Joseph, 1 and 2.
Good patience there from Caleb. That one just missing the outside corner. Working the outer edge to Joseph.
2-2 with 2 down. The infield moves back a little bit the other way. Not the big shift on. Joseph will take it down low. So after getting up with a couple of strikes, Farnsworth takes it to 3 balls and 2 strikes on Joseph, trying to turn it over to Markakis waiting on deck.
Well, he can walk some guys. You saw the walks coming in here. The average is almost 4 per 9.
Here's the 3-2 delivery on the way, and he did just that. Good at bat by Caleb Joseph. That is the first walk the Orioles have received in the ball game, and it comes with 2 down here in the top of the 8th inning, and Bo Porter is on his way out, and he wants the left-hander. So the matchups begin for the managers in this 1-run differential game. Here in the 8th, Porter will come out. Farnsworth works 2/3 of an inning, surrenders the walk, responsible for the runner on base, and the Orioles with Nick Markakis coming up will try and not only get this ball game tied up, but find a way to get the lead. Sip on the pitch.
Padres back on May 1st to sign this major league deal with the Astros, and all he has done is put up zeros. 8 games this season, 9 2/3 innings of work, 13 strikeouts, and the 1 base on ball. He's given up 1 hit. He is thriving in this role, and he has been a big reason why this Astros bullpen has had so much success here recently.
And you note what the Astros have done this season. The bullpen was a disaster for them, in all honesty, for the first month. So they went out and found the likes of Sip and Farnsworth, veteran pitchers who were either in the minors or available as free agents or released, as in the case of Sip, and signed them up, and getting a little veteran presence.
Take a look at the lowest bullpen earned run average. There they are, Houston Astros since May 11th, 1.22 earned run average. The Cubs on that list, Nationals, Red Sox, and Mets. The Astros leading the way. I mean, a lot of that has to do with the starting pitchers as well. So many of these pitchers here recently have gone deep into ball games. That allows the bullpen to really be set up and do matchups just like we're seeing right here.
Tony Sip appeared in the series in Baltimore. He was in 2 games, worked 2 1/3 innings, gave up nothing. He has no record against the Orioles. It is his 15th appearance against the O's. He has a .64 earned run average. Nick Markakis has actually faced him 9 times and is 2 for 9 off Sip. Runner at first, 2 down. Orioles down a run. The pitch will be taken up high for a ball. Now you bring a left-hander in against Markakis. Really is not a great favor to the pitcher, because Nick's hitting over 300 against lefties.
Yeah, well, Nick hits everybody, and he's been so good against lefties throughout his career. Really keeps that front side in well, but tough challenge here against Sip. Sip saw the fastball there at 94, so good 4-seamer. Got a hard slider as well.
2 down. Markakis will foul that one away, looking for his first hit of the game. 0 for 3, 1 for 7 so far in the 2 games. It's a great ball game. It's going to go right down to the final out. I mean, they do anyway, but as a baseball fan, you know what I'm saying. A lot of pacing going on in each dugout here, as the runs and hits have been hard to come by. Combined 3 runs on 9 hits. Joseph got the walk. He's on at first base. Guzman, who came on to play first, holding him in a very short lead at first. Sip with the 1-1. That'll be in the dirt. Stop made by Castro, and a 2-1 count on Markakis.
Let's look at the slider. There sharp tilts across the plate. He just pulled it a little bit too much. Ended up way outside. Almost ended up being kind of a non-competitive pitch. Take a look at the pitch track. First 2 pitches, fastballs up at the top of the zone, and then hard slider down and away.
1 hit surrendered in 9 2/3 innings pitched by Sip since joining the Astros. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Markakis towards that hole, and it's going to go off the glove into left field for a base hit. They were playing him the other way. Villar was moved over the shortstop, and he could not get back on it. And the Orioles with 2 away in the 8th inning at 2-on.
A good piece of hitting here. Fastball ends up down the middle of the plate. Villar actually gets the ball over Boogie's, dove over the top of it. Went in between his glove and his body. Markakis will take it.
And that will result in yet another pitching change. They only wanted Sip to work to the left-hander, and Bo Porter will come back out with Pierce due up. Steve Pierce has had an 0 for 3 so far in the ball game, and Chad Qualls, who worked in the game last night for an inning and got a save, will come on to pitch here. Tomorrow's action, game 3 of this 4-game set, as Chris Tillman on the mound. He'll go against Dallas Keuchel. Our coverage on MASN 2, 3:30 O's Extra, presented by Dodge, followed by our game coverage at 4 on MASN 2 and WJZ. All the access you need right here on MASN.
Well, Chad Qualls now in the ball game. Been used in the closer role here recently. Has the 4 saves on the board. 2.76 earned run average. Opponents hitting 281. Lefties way up to 379. Righties at 200. And he's got some tough ones to face here. Pierce next.
Qualls appeared in the game last night. Had a 1-2-3 9th inning, including a strikeout in the ball game. Now the Orioles have 2 on 2 down. Pierce 0 for 3 in the ball game. Qualls delivers to him, and it will miss 4 of all. Pierce is a 1 for 6 lifetime against Qualls. Steve continuing to produce with that 310, 11 RBI output. A lot of that coming when he was in at first base for Chris Davis. Now a couple of starts in left field here in this series. 1-0 delivery, and he drills it to left field, but it was off the end of the bat. So he couldn't get any drive on it. Grossman gets over to put it away. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 2 are left on base. Bottom of the 8th coming up.
Yeah, it's Jonathan Villar snapping an 0 for 26. He drives one into the gap. Came off his bat at 93 miles an hour. It bounces up over into the bullpen, and he gets the big hit. He's excited about that one.
Our drive of the game brought to you by Lexus of Towson, the area's #1 Lexus dealer. Come see why at lexusoftowson.com. Darren O'Day, who came on to pitch, didn't have to throw a pitch in the 7th inning as he caught Villar trying to go from second to third before he ever threw a pitch, and caught him at third base. What goes as a caught stealing 1-5.
Yeah, what a smart play, right? I mean, Darren O'Day, I don't think there was a play on. I think he does that on his own. That's just a heady ball player there.
The veteran who does in that kind of situation, you'll see a balk sometimes, and the pitcher just kind of starts and jumps and stops and stays on the rubber and throws it.
Yeah,
that's the kind of play that can happen, but a veteran like O'Day knew what to do and got the out. Bottom of the 8th inning, on the top of the order, Altuve had the first hit of the game, an infield single in the 6th inning. First hit for Houston. So he's got a 9-game hit streak now. He is 1 for 3 in the ball game. Altuve's had 10 hits in 19 at-bats against the Orioles this year. He is a .485 career hitter against the Orioles. Back into the screen for a 2-strike count.
It's unbelievable. I mean, he is so scrappy. He'll use the whole field. He's got the speed, obviously, on his side, so he can beat out some infield hits. We've seen that already in this series.
Kansas City has beaten Toronto again, 6-1, the final in the ball game tonight. Toronto's now lost 2 in a row. In the air to right, Markakis will get there. And Altuve is retired. As the American League East continues to be a jumble and getting more so, not surprisingly. So Toronto with a 2.5-game lead on the Yankees coming in. The Yankees have also lost in their ball game tonight. So the Orioles have a chance to gain a game on both those teams ahead of them. Boston, Tampa Bay couldn't happen to a nicer group. They've been brawling all night. Now they're in the 10th inning. 2-2. Here is Springer. He's 0 for 3 in the ball game. The ever dangerous rookie right fielder. And a strike called on the outside corner.
Nice pitch. Good two-seamer from Darren O'Day. 88 miles an hour. That's some good velocity from O'Day.
One delivery, and that'll get your attention. 89-mile-an-hour fastball up and in.
Veteran pitcher. I don't know if Darren meant to do that. He definitely wanted to ride it high in the zone, but it comes up and in, and why not? I mean, have a purpose to it, and then open up the outside corner.
Darren's worked 1 inning coming into this game against Houston this year, gave up nothing. And then you go back outside. Human nature as a hitter says you're not going to be diving over the plate after the pitch before that.
Right.
So 1-2 count.
Yeah, really hard to convince yourself to keep that front shoulder in after one just went up by your neck.
1-2. And Springer off the end of the bat onto the screen. The Orioles RBI came in the 2nd inning. Jones led off with a double. Hardy had a 1-out base hit to scoring. The Orioles' only run of the game. Miguel Gonzalez pitched the no-hitter through 5, gave up an infield hit in the 6th, and then 2 runs on 4 hits in the 7th inning, and a 2-1 lead for the Astros. 1-2. Grossman had the RBI double for the first run. Villar an RBI double right after Grossman for the go-ahead.
Darren O'Day missed up and in earlier in this at bat, and then went with that sweeping slider. Let's see if he does it again.
Springer waiting, and did, and got him. So O'Day records a strikeout on a nifty piece of work in that at bat.
Yeah, textbook stuff. Up and in, down and away. And actually executed it twice throughout this at bat. Executed it perfectly to get Springer, one of the hottest hitters in the game.
2 down, nobody on. That will bring up Dexter Fowler. O'Day worked in the series in Milwaukee on the 27th, and 2/3 of an inning there. Gave up 1 hit, a couple of walks. Strike on the outside corner taken by Fowler. A walk. He has struck out and grounded out 0 for 5 so far in the series for Dexter Fowler. Fowler, switch hitter, 306 right, 243 left-handed. But this is where his power is. Ground ball, fair, and Davis will tag the bag, and that's that. Good job by O'Day. So a 1-2-3 inning. The Orioles trailing by 1 as we go to the top of the 9th inning in the middle of the order. Coming up. By Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. We're not going to head to San Antonio. We are going to head to the 9th inning. And a 2-1 ball game with the Astros on top, each team with 5 hits. Chad Qualls is going to stay on after getting the final out in the 8th inning and try to get another save. He picked up save number 4 in the ball game last night. He is 4 out of 5 save opportunities for the Astros.
Yeah, another veteran arm. We talk about Farnsworth. Well, Qualls 35 years old. He's pitched for 8 different teams over his 11-year career. He's going to be tested here in the heart of the order. Good two-seam fastball and slider. Another power type pitcher.
Cruz 0 for 1 against him. Nelson will take the pitch for a strike. A base hit in the 4th inning, 1 for 3 in the game, an 11-game hit streak as Cruz works as the DH tonight for the Orioles, with Pierce getting another start in left field. Nelson on a big cut. 0-2.
Pretty good slider there from Qualls.
Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be way outside, as was intended. Castro had set up outside the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Cruz. 10th in average, 1st in homers and RBIs, 4th in runs. All the numbers for Nelson Cruz so far this year, 310 overall. 1-2 delivery by Qualls, and he got him.
This is his game plan. Sinkers and sliders. He gets ahead, throws a slider away, and then runs that two-seamer down and in. Bottom drops out of it at 94 miles an hour, and even one of the hottest hitters in the game can't catch up with it.
That will bring up Adam Jones, a double and a run scored back in the 2nd inning. He is 1 for 3 in the ball game, and he's also 1 for 3 against Qualls. The 2 starters are the pitchers of record. As Oberholzer, the left-hander, was outstanding, as was Miguel Gonzalez. Bunting for a base hit. Popped it up. Catcher's got it. Castro puts it away. 2 down. So Adam Jones trying to get on ahead of Davis. Becomes the second out.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I know Adam Jones has a lot of great tools, and you know, speed's one. He is an actual pretty good bunter and sees the third baseman's back, but one swing of the bat, Adam Jones could tie this ball game up.
Yes. Fans are up. 2 down. Davis. 1 for 3. Trying to tie it up with a swing. Oberholzer would win just his second game and be 2-6. Gonzalez would be 3-4 if it stays as is. 0-1 delivery to Chris, and that one's at his shoe tops. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's how he works that slider. That was a hard one at 88 miles an hour. Back foot almost actually hit Chris Davis's back foot.
Houston 5-10 in 1-run games. The Orioles 11-7. Houston's not had a win streak of 7 games since 2010. That one is fouled off. The last time they won 6 or won more than 6 was in July and August of 2010. They win this, they've won 7 in a row.
Well, good pitching and timely hitting. That's what's happened here in this series.
Chad Qualls, the 1-2 delivery. Davis fouls it back.
Qualls hasn't made many mistakes here the last couple nights, but that one, oh my, left up in the zone. He got away with one there.
Orioles facing their 4th loss in a row and would be 2-3 on the year against Houston. Davis trying to prevent all of that. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Qualls delivers. Davis will take it and a call, 3rd strike. Davis after Mark Wood. As is Buck Showalter.
Chris Davis saying it was up. Hard 2-seamer. Man, that looks like it's at his front shoulder. Way at the top of the box. Way too high to call to end the ball game. My goodness, Castro's glove reached way up to get it.
So the Astros have won the ball game in the first 2 in this series.